Continue that. Hey.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jessy Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taylor.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your Majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taylor.
Hey, everybody. I still haven't gotten time yet to figure out how to make this thing work a little less clunky than it does at the end. That big cutoff. I don't like that. I like things to fade nice and slow and smooth. And speaking of nice and slow and smooth, here's my friend, Jessy Martin. How you doing there, buddy? You feeling better?
Yes, much. Yeah, still got a little sniffle, but other than that, man, it wasn't that bad, man. It really wasn't. Maybe because I got all my jabs, as the Brits say, but it's like a bad cold, man, like a bad cold.
Yeah, you probably got one of the part of the Omicron variant or something like that. It seems to have definitely calmed down in terms of how lethal it is. Yeah. I got my third booster the other day, man. I tell you what, it makes my arm sore as shit just for a day.
Yeah.
Doing this was like, hey. What's up?
The best thing to do, I found out, is just to immediately work out after you get it done. Like, just like work your arm out and do stretches and stuff. And
I tried to.
By my second one, the second booster, it was cool. I was cool.
I tried to, but the internet was down, so I couldn't get to Pornhub or anything. Anyway, yes, of course, Scotty knows what I was doing.
Wait a second. Keith has gotten prettier. He's gotten prettier.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Some of our friends, Deucelicious, I know much prefers our friend here, Scott from Don't tell me. Furnace and Barrow.
Nelly, Barrow in Furnace.
Barrow in Furnace. Right, I forgot.
Close enough.
Barrow in the fire. Right. I figured you'd take the furnace
call
and put it in.
You need to just call it the armpit of Britain. That's exactly where it is.
Coming to us live from the armpit of Britain.
That's
our friend, Scott Hartley. I do so love that. Yes, dear. Scott is on again, Scal. Sorry. Keith is big time in this. Keith has just gotten to be too big for his big britches. Now, tonight he's got a Halloween party at his house that starts at 6:00, which I have to guess his wife talked him into because it is podcast night. And if you're one of the fellas, you got to tell her where you stand. But I sent him the link, so he might pop in here once he gets his costume on. So we'll see that. However, I want any of our right-wing friends that are out there that are listening to us right now realize that when Keith comes on, we're not promoting any kind of drag shows or anything like that. He's just a pretty man. We really don't know how he's going to look once he gets here. All right. So, okay. Well, I guess all the how do you do's are out of the way. We got a big game coming up against the Indianapolis Colts this week.
This is a big game.
It is a big game. I think every game is a big game anyway. During the course of the season, all of them are pretty big. But for us, once you lose 4 games, everything's a big game going forward because you can't really lose too many more. So, what are your first impressions of the Indianapolis Colts there, Scott?
Yeah, the Colts have been in an up and down side, really, especially with Matt Ryan at the helm under center. Now they've gone to Ellinger or Ellinger. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's it'll be interesting to see who and how he goes under center. Obviously, we don't know. We haven't got a lot of tape on him, so the tape's not out there for people to game plan for him. But, it'll be interesting to see how we go. As you said, John, every game is a big game now, especially when you put yourself in the hole and try and climb yourself back up. But, it'll be a big game for us. I think it's a winnable game. And if the defense plays as it has done, making that stand over the last few weeks, we should be in business, or I hope we are anyway.
Yeah, good. Hey, there's our buddy Ty. Hey, Ty. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, Ty, thanks for hanging out in the chat, everybody. We got a bunch of our friends from across the pond. Yam and Andy and Scouts and Ty's in the chat and a few more.
Ty's not really from across the pond.
No,
Ty's just
Ty's
kind
not
of across the
pond.
prairie. Is all.
Yeah, at least we haven't got people talking about cucumbers this week anyway. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, where is that guy, man? I'll tell you what, I think he probably found himself in an emergency this room with a light bulb that he did not want to have break.
Ouch.
Yeah. Gotta wonder if for those guys, I wonder if LEDs are just a little less damaging. I don't know. All right. So what do you think, Jesse? What do you think about the Colts coming up?
You know, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would feel a lot better if it was Matt Ryan under center than some unknown. And if you kind of think back to this team, if you think back, this team, when we play, first year starters or rookies, we haven't had the best success against them in the past. But, this is a new team. It's the unknown that I'm worried about more than anything else.
Okay, that's fair. I tell you what, I can remember watching Ellinger last year when he was at Texas, and I was rather impressed with him. He's not a bad quarterback, but then again, that's the NCAA, it's the kids' league.
Ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah,
he's not
I did
bad.
too. And you know what? I wanted to pick him up as a late round quarterback when he was in the draft. I saw some good things from him. I thought he would be one of those quarterbacks that could sit for 3 or 4 years and maybe developed into something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, he's a little worrisome because you just don't know. You don't know what to expect with a guy with someone like this just coming in off the bench, never thrown an NFL snap before in this entire life.
Well, the one thing I'm happy about is that he doesn't really have very good weapons to work with right now. I mean, granted, Jonathan Taylor can be an all-pro, but their line isn't the best. Their wide receivers, don't let them have a game. For crying out loud. Don't let this cadre of, I don't want to call it.
Got to shut Pittman down.
Yeah, shut Pittman down. Keep Paris Campbell under wraps, and don't let that little fucking white guy go crazy on you, for God's sakes. Last week, did you see what he did? Right, whatever. 2 weeks ago, he caught 2 touchdown passes. Everybody was going nuts about him. I can't even remember his name. White guy, early 20s, probably named Tyler or something like that.
Yeah,
Zach. Sorry to all you Tyler and Zachs out there, and also to all you Ashleys. There's millions of you. But the fact of the matter is, this is a team that, again, we should handle. We should be able to beat this team. We should match up well on the field with them one-on-one. And I don't see anything other than the fact, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, Cole Holcomb might be out.
Yeah, I wanted to get in that too. And listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't feel good about this game. I really don't. And one of the reasons is everybody knows our feelings on Cole Holcomb. But he's been playing a lot better. Him and Jamin Davis has the past 3 weeks have come and to play at least solid. I think we can honestly say that.
Yeah. Well, we play teams that are trying to run on us too. And this is what the Colts can do.
And I think they've come a long way, even from last year. The first couple of games of the season, Cole Holcomb, I mean, we were tearing him a new asshole because he was pathetic. It was pathetic.
Well, not to mention that, but his old asshole was raggedy and ugly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the more of the issue is who's playing behind Cole Holcomb, and this goes on to our depth, and this goes on to our the guy who runs our football operations, and Ron Rivera. We didn't pay enough attention to the linebacker position for the second year in a row.
I believe I used the words criminally neglect. Right?
Yeah.
Criminal neglect.
Yams Cole's out. He's been ruled out. He's been dealing with the foot injury. And it sucks too, because we are, I think, second in on defense against the run.
We're good
right now. And Jonathan Taylor he has not been playing as well this year as he did last year. The Colts offensive line is really, really bad, but he's still an all-pro running back.
Yeah, feel free to jump in anytime, Scott. I know you're polite.
No, it's okay. I'm just listening to you talk away. I mean, I'm looking at Andy there, and I'm just saying I nicked these headphones from work, so you can quite easily hear me at the bottom of the submarine. So yeah, no worries about that. Cheers for your comments, Andy. You've just been gassing me up there. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know who will play next to Jamin Davis, I think it's probably going to be Bostic.
For sure.
Mayo,
I heard Mayo. It's going to be a mixture of the middle linebacker. I last report I saw was going to be Bostic, Mayo, and Jamin Davis. It's going to be a mixed soup, and that scares the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie.
I do agree with you. It's criminal that they've left this for 2 years. We all know linebacker's been one of the biggest weaknesses on the entire team. And yet we just don't seem to have addressed it at all. And the one time you think, we're going to get a linebacker in, we must have one now, he re-signs Bostic, which is, bizarre.
Dude, it's like going, hey, you know what? Those Lucky Charms were good. Let me fish down the toilet and get that turd back because I remember yesterday's breakfast. I know that's a disgusting analogy. However, it's apt, I think. But honestly, if you're going to ignore the linebacker position to the point where you knew you cut Bostic because of how badly he played, don't tell me it was a salary or, he was poor, right? Dude, we you know how we knew his name all the time? Because we were constantly looking at the back of his jersey while he chased tight ends and running backs.
I think that's a great point. Andy's just made there, Lockhart in the chat saying, do we bring Curl closer down into the box and use Jamin's speed more? I agree with that.
You're going to have to.
Probably, that's the only way they can do it.
Make Ellinger beat you over the top.
That's just what I was about to say. Let's see what this kid has. Let's load the box. We're going to have to load the box anyways. We got to take care of the run. They're going to want to run the ball. They brought Ellinger in. They don't have an offensive line. They can't pass
left guard.
Protect. And they're going to be focused on the run. And they sat Matt Ryan because he's a statue behind that offensive line. We got to focus on the run. Let Ellinger beat us over the top. And he's going to. I'm sure he's going to once in a while because bringing Cam Curl in, in the box like that is going to hurt us on the back end a little bit. But again, this guy is his first NFL game. He played really good in the preseason, but against third stringers. Okay.
Well, what's really interesting, and I'm trusting Wild Goose now. The guy, he's playing like his life depends on it every single game, which is good. And you're hearing him for big calls, big plays. You're not hearing his name called for fouls or flags, which is a good thing. And I trust St. Juice as well, who's really starting to play now, like the one we should have drafted. Kendall Fuller still worries me a lot. What's more worrying for me is what are we doing with the offensive line this weekend? Because it looks, from what I've seen, that they're going to play Trey Turner.
Oh God,
I know.
All right, on that part of bad news, I do have some breaking news coming in right now, live from his Halloween party. Mr. Keith, there he is. Look at the
cock. Hey, what's up, everyone?
Oh, man.
If ever there was an appropriate costume. Jeez, dude, look at this. You know what? I tell you, I say things like, lick Tanya's butthole and you get yourself all embarrassed, but you come on here wearing a cock shirt.
I mean, it was a private Halloween party. You just happened to invite me to say to come on. And I was like, you know what? I could spare a couple minutes while I'm getting ready. But can you see it?
No, there's a chair blocking you.
Yeah, what do you think? I guess that's the joke. He cock blocked him.
That's the joke.
All right. Yeah,
block is on the back. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So this is one of those parties, right? This is a private Halloween party, Jessy.
This is a Keith in the bowl party. Isn't it?
Right. Keith has the cock sign, and probably somebody else will have the I'm a bottom sign, and somebody else will have the pink bandana in the ear that signals they're up for practically anything.
I mean, after grass is outside.
Look, after a few fucking watermelon mists, anything goes, right?
Hey, it is what it is. Look,
this is why he owns so much spray cheese.
So Keith, while we got you on here,
what's up?
How do you feel about this this game going against a no-name quarterback, kind of an unknown quarterback?
Tell us, Mr. Cock.
Yeah, cock-a-doodle-doo. I actually feel good about this game. I feel like we can, get the win. I like the idea that we're going against a quarterback that we, don't know about. I mean, that can get a little scary, but this guy wasn't practicing with the ones all season. He might have been coming in this week practicing with the ones. I I feel like we've got a slight advantage. We're on our, QB2 as well, but Taylor Heineke, as we all know, is no, secret to this football team. So, again, I think that I definitely think we can take this one. It's going to be crazy. I mean, I think it's going to kind of lift our spirits up as fans a little bit too if we can get this win. We're not too far behind at this point. I know we're digging deep in the division, but if you take a look at the league as a whole, we're not too far behind everyone else.
Yeah, the NFC, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, the NFC East, man. I think that's really what did it to the fans. Was as our team was losing, we're watching, teams like the Giants win that, we're not suspecting them to, get these types of wins and be at the record that they're currently at. And then you have the Cowboys and, of course, the Eagles. So NFC East is really tough right now. But I don't know, man. If we can just keep pulling out some wins and just hope, we're okay. We're in okay shape. Now, if we lose this game, it's a totally different ball game then.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot, listen to the radio, other podcasts. A lot of people are kind of agreeing with you, Keith. They have a good feeling about this game. To me, it's the unknowns. It's the injuries on defense that worry me. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure if we pull this out. I think, Shaq,
Lawrence.
No, the linebacker from the Colts is actually coming back. I think it's his first game back. All pro Shaq Leonard. He's a beast. He's coming back this game. They have a top 10 defense. We're gonna have to smother this new quarterback, I think, to have a chance because this game, I don't think we're going to score a lot of points.
Got to keep him in the pocket. That's the only way, really, is to keep him in the pocket and make him throw. We're going to see a big run dose of Jonathan Taylor, and if we can keep him quiet, we kept Derrick Henry quiet, so we've got to do exactly the same for Jonathan Taylor, who hasn't been himself as he was last year. I'm touching wood here. It doesn't change tomorrow, but we have to, Sunday even, we have to make sure that we keep him quiet.
We're getting a heavy dose of the run, that's for sure. And as our feelings, with Cole Holcomb, that's a big loss. That's a big loss because he has started to step up, and I'm worried about David Mayo in that backfield.
I tell you, I'm more worried about David Mayo on Mo Alley Cox. Right, I'm more worried about David Mayo trying to cover a running back out into the flat. David Mayo right now, in terms of chasing down a running back or hitting the right hole, I feel about as good as I can. I'd rather see him doing it than John Bostic. Who the hell is that? What the hell is that?
It's my kid. It's my kid.
I didn't see nothing in the background. I always saw.
It's my offspring chicken.
You got your hatchling?
Yeah, my hatchling. They can't see you, Cam. Go ahead, show them you're a referee. Go ahead. You're going to make bad calls all night.
Oh, way to go.
Way to go. Yeah, he probably makes about as good as calls as the ref in the NFL right now. Damn, there's some bad calls going on in the league right now.
I'm really glad my kid can't read.
However, last week the bad calls were on our side, so let's hope that stays the same way.
I'm laughing.
Can't read. He's 11. I think he's all right with that one.
No, that one's 6.
Oh, I think he's still all right figuring that one out. At least I should hope so at 6.
We told him I was a chicken, so.
So you were signing, Keith. You were signing autographs last week and couldn't come on to the show on Monday. So, what do you think about Heineke's performance last week?
Well, I have to tell you, it was a roller coaster because obviously he started out pretty rough. That interception for a touchdown, I was losing my mind in that moment. That score came my way, and I just looked at my guy, John. John and Jessy are a lot alike, so it's interesting sitting next to John. All it takes is a field goal, and the game is over in John's eyes, and Jessy kind of reminds me of that same dude. It's like I almost look forward to Jesse's text because I know – we'll get something positive out of him, and then 30 seconds later, let our team, fuck up, and bam, here comes Jessy. We ain't winning this game. I'm out of here. I'm gonna go watch the Pony Show or something. But anyways, and then he did what we've seen him do. He played a decent game enough to get us by. he hooked up with Terry McLaurin. I think that was do what? Well, first of all, you interrupted me in my expert analysis, but yes, they're shaking their head. Yes, come on. Yes, get your time. Get your time in.
Fucking grumpy chicken.
Rachel's got to get this time.
Grouchy chicken. God damn it.
She was
freaking bitches in the hen house.
Oh.
Shut up while I'm on the radio.
Yeah. I'm trying to lay some eggs here. Oh, wait.
That's
roosters
right.
don't do that.
That's right. Strut around the house a little bit, Keith.
Yeah, so I mean, Heineke's performance was what kind of we expected. Coming into this game, I kind of felt like, he was going to, have some turnovers just because he's, hasn't been, playing. So we're getting what we get out of Heinicke. He's extending plays with his legs. He's getting Terry McLaurin the ball. Can't complain too much. He just has to, dumb down on those mistakes a little bit. And, I think we'll be okay. I'm really conflicted and torn, man, because I really, really, really like Wentz. I do. But he's proven so far that he's not that guy. And yes, I'm not going to lie. I was hoping that we would have that 2017 Wentz. I was hoping that we'd have that, light a fire under his ass. And this guy is just, throwing the ball downfield, making great plays. And so on and so on. And really, to me, what I've seen is we kind of just got a lifeless dude back there, guy who can't get out of, dirty pockets. It seems like really all that he's done well for us this year was literally toss the ball down the field, which is something that we were, praying about, when we wanted to see. But unfortunately, that's all he's been able to do. And so with Heinicke coming in and Heinicke being able to do those things that Wentz can't do, the only thing that we wish is that Heinicke can throw the ball down the field. But I'm looking at the situation just like I did last year. I'm sure you guys are too. If, just sustain drives, man, I don't care how you do it and get in the end zone.
Yeah, I think I was right last time by saying we needed to take the time off the clock. And it seems like Heinicke can do that. It seems like we can sustain drives. We can keep going on third downs. And converting them into first down. We seem to have last week. We seemed to have quite a lot of shorter third downs, which was good, and it meant that the time can run off the clock there. But I'm in the presence of greatness here because we've got an international superstar here. So
national television sensation,
international superstar.
Scotty bringing the sound effects here.
All right. Scotty, I'm many times as I missed the show, I'm feeling like Scotty's gonna boot me out of here. And
nah, not at all, man. Not at all.
He's gonna be the third member. He's got something to the table now. I ain't got nothing but a stupid rooster mask.
When it
not
comes
too many
to,
people can come on this show and be a cock like you can.
Yeah,
I think when it comes to Heinicke and Wentz, when you're comparing the two players, it's really. They're not much different in the mistakes that they make during the game.
Right.
It's just the fact that Heinicke knows this offense better and he can move a little bit better. I do think the offensive line has been playing better. They're a little bit more cohesive. I think Larson at the center position and Charles at guard has really gave the offensive line a boost. Not much of a boost, but a better boost than when we had Trey Turner and Wes Schweitzer under center. Is that going to be enough to really help? I don't know, because Heinicke, we saw the same Heinicke as we did last year. He'll make some good plays here and there, but he knows the offense. It's just, to me, I don't think we're going to get anything different between the two quarterbacks. You can put them both in. Mistakes are still going to happen. Good plays are still going to happen. It's just who knows this offense better right at this moment. It's Heinicke at this moment. Who knows?
Can we do the look ahead real quick?
Look, before
we
let
could.
me just.
Oh yeah, go ahead, John.
When it comes down to this between Heinicke and Wentz and all this sort of thing like this, there is a third integral part that really needs to do his part and step up, and that's Scott Turner, because he's got to call plays that help these guys out. I think firmly that Wentz's lack of knowledge of the offense is a secondary thing as compared to the fact that he kept getting himself killed back there. And granted, he's holding the ball long, but he's also being told to call plays with setups that are long in developing. With an offensive line that's a sieve, they're not really doing much to help him out back there. With Heineke, last week we saw it early on in that he keeps fucking you calling an out pattern with Taylor Heineke. He can't throw the damn thing. I'd rather have freaking Jimmy Cock there throwing the thing than Taylor Heineke throwing a 12-yard out. It's just not going to happen very well, and chances are what we saw will happen. The chances go way up that a pick six happens when he's doing that, even if he sees single coverage out there. So I want to see Scott Turner not just open up that playbook and all that wizardry. I want to see him show me some option routes where these guys can exploit the middle of the field where he can throw. All right, I know he threw a couple behind last week early on in the game, but he did get better as the game went on. And if he's got some shallow routes that he can play with, those open look, like I said last or Monday on the show, if a 37-yard bomb touchdown is his deep throw, I'm good with it because he dropped that sucker right down the chimney. That's fine. If you could call him the right plays and use this offense, Scott, you said so. We had shorter third downs, and that is a direct result of establishing the run. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You know what 3 yards in a cloud of dust means? 3rd down and 4. That's what it means. Third down and manageable. You can't do it all the time, but you have to establish it. And now on to the topic that the Cock wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so let's just do a little look ahead, and I wanted to wait and save this for another episode, maybe when we got a little closer. But what do we do with our quarterback situation when Wentz returns?
Listen, it's still too early to make that decision right now. It's been one
or
game.
even
okay. So let me do hypothetical then.
Okay,
Heineke goes 2-2.
Depends on who's the two. All right, because if he beats the Colts this weekend, but then loses to the Vikings, and then whoever's after that, I don't even know.
Yeah, the Eagles, I believe. Yeah. You're probably gonna go. You're probably gonna. Yeah, if he does that, you're probably gonna go back to Wentz.
Because Wentz could do the same thing.
Yeah, it's you got to see. You got to give Wentz a fair shake. And Andy Lockhart saying nobody's grasped this offense except for Taylor. Well, Taylor's been in this offense for 7 years. And the fact of the matter is when you an offense, it's when you're learning a new offense, it's like learning a foreign language. It doesn't happen, in a couple of months that these guys have when they first get signed and get to play. This stuff takes time. Taylor's been in this offense, this exact same offense for 7 years. I think he spent like 1 year over in Minnesota with a different offense as a backup, but that's why it looks better when he's in here. And he is a gamer. Listen, I like Taylor Heineke. I just know his
whole team
does. Yeah, the whole team does because he puts it all out on the line every single play, and I'm perfectly okay with that. But the fact of the matter is Carson Wentz is more talented, and there's no denying that. And anybody who says that Taylor Heineke is more talented than Carson Wentz, you can drive off a bridge. That's not correct. He has more talent than Taylor Heineke.
He has a stronger arm. All right.
He has more talent than Taylor Heineke.
I think he has a higher ceiling.
We've seen it. That
I'll say.
Yeah. I mean,
but we saw it before he got hurt. But when he was a rookie, second-year quarterback, I would agree with you 100%. He's got a lot of talent. He was one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but he has since fallen off. He's physically not the same guy, and he just isn't. He's got a stronger arm by far, and he's got a pretty accurate deep arm, But
I just don't think we're in a league anymore. Yeah, I don't think we're in a league anymore where we're going to.
Yeah, John, you're kind of fuzzing in and out, John.
I'm going to put my neck on the block here for everyone in the chat who's talking and everyone on the podcast and say that we don't see Wentz again. I know that's probably mental.
You might be right. There's
I think
like I said,
people's jobs depend on it now. Ron has already come out before the season started and put the pressure on himself by saying the third year is where we take the step. It's clear that we're paying huge amounts of money for Wentz, but there's no dead cap next year at all to cut him. That's it. It's gone. Yeah. There's no money to pay. So we're rolling with Heineke now. And I think that Wentz is probably going to have another 3 weeks out minimum because of the finger injury. And then from there, I just don't think we see him, especially if we get a couple of wins with Taylor under our belt. I think it remains that Taylor will be the starter because people's jobs are dependent on this. And Ron will want to try and do as much as he can,
including his.
Yeah, of course, to get it
Including
out of
Ron's.
the way. To get it out of the
I
way.
don't think Ron's seat is hot as a lot of people. I think
3 and 4 is not as hot as 1 and 4. No, but 1 and 4, it was starting to heat up, and it should have been. I can't speak for the Snyders because number one, I'm not nearly as close to them as the Cock is.
Listen, that's the key. There is the Snyders. We don't know what they do crazy things, and I think I don't think Ron's seat is as hot as a lot of people think it is. I think he can have a 6 and 12 season and still keep his job. I don't think that's going to happen. But
speaking of the Snyders, real quick, do you think that maybe Jim Irsay put some sour milk in Snyder's sweet?
I don't think Snyder's got the balls to show up to.
Well, I just think we want to see
Jim Irsay here,
halftime.
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh dear. We just need to see the halftime entertainment, which I thought was going to be a ring in the middle of the stadium with Irsay and Snyder, with a bit of 2x4 each.
Yeah, that'd be fun to watch. I'd pay a ticket. I'd buy a ticket to that show right there.
I'm watching the show down here in Cock's house. What's going on there? I have no idea.
I think Keith's better half's on the side of the screen there.
Yeah, Andy, I'm sorry, man. I don't think he loses his job. I think Rivera gets his 5 years. I honestly do not think he keeps his job.
I mean, how long did Jay Gruden get? You know,
he got 5 years.
Well, he had to have 5 years because he had to prove to everybody that he wasn't going to yank the plug on him after 2. All right, but see, this is a different situation. Gruden had an adequate excuse by saying, "Look, every year I had 40 guys on IR, right? Every year." So, but Ron. You think he's going to get his all 5 because there's underlying business things about him having to change the face of the organization and make sure that everything has to look pretty.
Snyder has money issues right now,
right? But see, the same thing. The thing about it is, if he goes 5 and 12, dude, yeah, you got to.
Now, should he be fired if he goes? Yes, I'm not saying that. Will he? I don't think so because there's a lot of money issues going on in the Snyder's kingdom right now. You're going to pay Ron his salary, which we still don't know what it is. So it's a fucking shit ton. And the fact that you have to hire a whole new staff, I don't think so, man.
That's true.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think he gets his. I think he gets his. I mean, unless it's a just shit falls apart. Like
right.
total
like
meltdown.
The locker room falls apart.
Yeah. And the locker room's not falling apart. There's been zero signs of that whatsoever. We know for a fact he might not be the best coach in the world, but his players fucking play for him.
Yeah, what's really good is I think when you're under the stewardship of Ron, the an eventual locker room, tidbits that come out, people leaking information, that doesn't happen under Ron. You don't hear that. You don't hear players who are upset or feel disrespected. It's tight. And obviously he is a player's coach, which we know. But are we masking things here? One Super Bowl appearance, and this is not getting at Ron, one Super Bowl appearance in his entire career. I mean, what's
someone getting arrested?
I don't know.
Someone getting arrested.
Coming for it must
Party's getting raided.
I think it's the Colonel coming for Keith there.
Oh no!
Going to put him in his 12 spices. Yeah,
that's
no. It's the game my kids playing. All right, gentlemen. Well, what I was going to say real quick is I don't think Wentz loses a job due to injury. I don't think that's a fair thing. I think you got to put him back in if he's all healthy.
If he wins against the Colts and beats the Vikings, well,
what do you think? What do you think if that happens, Keith?
Yeah, I think you keep the hot hand in there.
Yeah.
I know I'm flip flopping when I say that. But
who cares?
I think if your guy goes 4 wins and Wentz is back, no, you keep your guy. I think if you go, the first 2 and then you lose the last 2, no, you put Wentz back in, see what you can get there. To me, I think Wentz has to play completely horrific, which some would say he's done that this season. But
so did Heineke. Heineke was not pretty.
Well, no, it wasn't pretty. But again, I think that you're paying this guy a lot of money. You brought him in, for the reason you're hoping he could take you to the next level. I think you got to give him that shot. I think you have to respect the fact that this guy played with broken fingers in a game and still won, even though it was ugly. You got to go back to your number one.
I'll point it back out. He threw his best throw after he had his broken fingers. That throw down the middle
probably so.
Let me ask
into that.
Let me ask you this, Keith. Or I'll ask all of y'all. What if?
We'll start with me because after this, I got to get rolling.
Okay. All right. What if Heineke, say he beats the Colts, he plays well because you have the Vikings, which I don't think are as good as the record is, but still have a good record. And then the Eagles, say they both lose that game, but he plays really well in those two games. What do?
I still think you stick with Wentz.
What if it's the defense fault that they lose the games?
What if Heineke beats the Colts, loses to the Vikings, ties the Eagles, and gets air in the back left tire of his truck? Then what?
I still think there's a lot up in the air with the whole Winston Heineke thing. There's still a lot of football to be played.
I really think that in order for Heineke to stay in, he's got to win all four while Wentz is out. And then if Wentz comes back at the 4, then my man's got to take a seat because Heineke's rolling with the hot hand. That's what I'll stick with. But if we're 2 or even 3 wins, I'm still thinking you got to put your guy in there. You can't bench your guy. You paid him a lot of money. He can't lose his job to injury. He has to lose his job from playing horrific, and you can't count against the Bears because we won that game. To me, it's not about stats. To me, it's more about wins and losses. So I'm flip-flopping because these are, of course, different scenarios. But like you said, Jesse, it's a little early.
Yeah.
Once we get to the 3rd week mark and see how we feel, see how Taylor's doing, chances are I would change my mind. But I guess I'm just trying to stay loyal to Wentz because he hasn't played the greatest, and obviously we all know that. But at the same time, I'm just not a fan of a quarterback losing his job to injury, and especially a guy who played all those quarters with that broken finger, with those finger issues.
Both of them.
Right. And so to me, just, Wentz definitely displays a huge amount of toughness for me. And we can't expect these quarterbacks to come in and, throw in 350 yards, 3 touchdowns every game. I mean, this guy needs some time with this team, especially a team that's going to be cohesive. The guys are going to be on the field and not injured. Again, if we can put our full team out there, obviously besides Chase Rouillet, Wentz could have a better shot, but that's also a, coulda, woulda, shoulda type situation.
Well,
so
our whole team also does include Trey Turner and Andrew Norwell.
Right.
Those problems.
Well, Norwell's been playing decent. We can lay off of him a little bit. It's like we flip-flop, with Cole Holcomb. Let's do the same thing with Norwell. He's played decent. Like, let's,
if he does, he does. Right. I'm only a fan. I don't care about flip-flop and whether I'm right or wrong today as opposed to 3 weeks from now. Look, if I say a guy stinks today in 3 weeks, he's on All-Pro, fucking A. I'm glad.
Andy says Wentz is trash, and I'm going to tell you, Andy, Heineke isn't better. He's not. He's not.
I can't argue.
He has intangibles. That's the thing. He's got intangibles. The team loves him.
Yeah.
They rally for him.
And I can't argue that point of view either, because it's not like Wentz has come in here and showed us much different other than what we've been missing over the years, which was the deep ball. But if that's all you're bringing to the table, no thanks. I'd rather have the guy like Heineke who can extend plays with his feet. We're in a league where you need that in a quarterback. These drop back quarterbacks like Tom Brady, look at how poorly they're doing.
Yeah, it's tough right now.
Yes, after they reach the age of 45.
Yeah,
look at him. Oh no.
But still, though, I mean,
he has a point.
At 35, he wasn't running the football, that well either.
If you're going to survive in the league,
man. But you've got a point there as well, because
not as much as you'd think.
Why have the Colts gone to Ellinger? Exactly the same reason why we.
Well, they can't protect him. That's why.
I think the league is starting to more focus towards the run again, as it did kind of years ago. Yeah, I think these defensive ends are getting stronger, faster, and there's more pressure being put on quarterbacks. So you want a quarterback that can be able to get out of the pocket a little bit to try to, make something happen. And I think the league's starting to go that way. You're seeing a big trend this year that passing yards are down, points are down, and time of possession for winning teams are going way up.
Yep.
That's because they're running the ball more.
Dude, I'm seeing old school fullbacks going through the line, with a lead block, and I love.
And that's what I want. Hell yeah, I want to go back to the basics.
Yeah,
it's weird how the NFL ebbs and
for
flows.
weeks. Run the ball. Run the ball.
You know, like 5 years ago, this new wave of passing. And,
you know why?
It's all about the quarterbacks. Now I'm not saying it's going straight towards the run, because you still have a Josh Allen, which can run, and a Patrick Mahomes, which can scramble. He doesn't do it a lot, but he can still scramble and move out the pocket.
He does look kind of funny when he does, though.
But you don't have
his head bobbling around.
You know, besides your Tom Brady's, your Ryan Tannehill, and he can move a little bit. Your Matt Ryan,
your Herberts,
those statuesque
Herberts,
those statuesque quarterbacks. You just don't see a whole lot of them being successful.
If I can say, a lot of times these statuesque quarterbacks, all right, that we see, they're mobile early in their career, and the ones that become successful, they settle in and learn how to become a pocket passer. You don't see too many of the running quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts. He's going to settle in. Otherwise, he's not going to survive the NFL for very long.
Yeah.
Even Russell Wilson. I mean, granted, he's not playing well right now at all.
No, but, I'm so glad we dodged that bullet.
We did, but the fact of the matter is even before this started to happen, he started to become more of a pocket passer, because you're going to get the shit beat out of you if you
I want to be careful with Russell Wilson. I'm a firm believer that it's also situational with these players too. He's just not mixing well with Denver. I don't think it's because Russell Wilson is a horrific quarterback and that he's being exposed right now. I just think that he's in a system that's
former players. Former players
Seattle
are exposing him right now. Former players are exposing him right now from
let's
Seattle,
be honest.
How he was a shit. He was a fucking diva, and you saw it the past 2 years with Russell Wilson. He wasn't that good. He wasn't that good.
Do you not think though, Jesse, you've got to be a bit of a diva if you play in that position? You are the team. You are the face of the team. If you take it in other sports, it's exactly the same. Look at soccer as we have. You've got the Messis, the Ronaldos of the world. Then they are the star players. And Russell Wilson's been that star player for so long. And now he's playing badly in what is actually a really bad side at Denver, who they thought were going to be,
their offense shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, the offense
shouldn't be that bad.
They've got talent.
They got talent and they got a defense.
Well, you're right. He's a diva. And they made him marry Sierra so that he could have a high profile thing. He wanted to marry Ricky Martin. And I think that's a fact. And we're going to say so right here on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast.
All right, just before Keith,
the chicken
drops off.
Tell you what.
Keith, are you starting the plane up now with your 500 million that you're getting, or your 500,000 that you get in each game? Because you've got to pick us up, because us UK boys need to get there for the Colts game. So.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Look, you know me. You know,
now that the UK has relaxed the rules about cocks flying into the country.
Look, you know that
we've got one in control of the country, so that's fine. Don't worry.
Absolutely,
about it.
You know,
the Keith of Denver. I see Keith and it makes me just lick my fingers.
The disrespect, I get it. Listen, Scotty, I got you. All right.
Cool.
Danny Snide and I were like boys, and
Danny Snide.
Yeah, Danny
Snide
and I were
Excuses
boys.
like assholes.
His plane did drop off in London, so he must have gone and spoke to Andy, because I'm sure he's paid as well as a.
Yeah.
Well, that's what this actually is. This is Keith kissing Danny.
Yeah. We're gonna send the private jet out and go pick you guys up. It's
perfect. I'm looking forward to it.
Redskins one's coming to pick y'all up.
All right, guys. So one last thing I gotta say is, baby, we're on a 2-game win streak. We're gonna beat them Colts. We're gonna be on that 3-game win streak, and it's gonna be 9 more to go, baby. That's what I'm talking.
Give us a score prediction.
Score prediction is going to be 24-17 Commanders.
All right.
Let's go, baby. We got
that is a chicken who I can get behind. Most of these like morning zoo shows have a stupid chicken that picks games, and now we do too. So,
all right, gentlemen, I got a big party to attend to.
Take care.
All right, then. See you later, Keith.
See you later, Keith.
Love you guys.
Love you too, brother.
Hell yeah! Hold on. What? That's what I'm talking about, baby.
You're raising him right. You're raising him right, Keith.
Hell yeah, finally. I got one because the big kid, he's ugly. All right, I got to go.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right, so I do want to kind of bite back a little bit on what Keith said. You can't lose your job to injury. I disagree. I think
disagree. It's a different league now.
Yeah, it's a different league now.
That's a rule from the
now that
70s.
was a motto in
the
old
70s.
school. Yeah, in the 70s. But nowadays, no. You playing better. You.
That was why Joe Theismann went to Toronto, because he was drafted by the Dolphins, who ran the ball 90% of the game. He figured Greasy would never get hurt. So he chose to go to Canada where he could play. And as it turns out, he would have been the quarterback for the undefeated team. Yeah.
So Andy brought up a really good comment in the chat there, Lockhart, saying,
he said, I'm not flying on Keith's cock.
Lockhart,
Andy Lockhart. Okay.
Lockhart said, what are we going to do when Wentz and Taylor leave at the end of the season? So what are you guys' thoughts on that then?
I think
you pick one, you keep one.
We're going to draft a quarterback. Who knows? How could be it? But you got to go get the quarterback. There's a lot of quarterbacks coming up in this draft. So I think there's going to be options. If we have to put together a package to move up into the top 10, if we're not already in the top 10, so be it. But I don't see any options. You thought this past year's options of free agents or quarterbacks available was slim. Next year's even slimmer. Yep. So you're going to have to go get one if Sam Howell's not your guy.
But how do we find out if Sam Howell's not our guy if you don't play him? You can't judge a guy on 2 preseason starts where you're playing 4th and 5th string offensive linemen who are trying to make a roster spot. It's very difficult to see, but I can't see how. I don't see if Taylor came in and we didn't win last week and we knew there was no shot at getting anything out of the season, then maybe you see how for the last few games. And then you can make a decision then. How do you make that decision? Do you trust this office this front office to understand the QB?
If you're doing like Jesse says, and it's an automatic 5 years, that Ron gets his 5 years, then I guess, whatever he decides at the end of this year to go with the quarterback position, you just suck it up and let him go again. You let him make another pick. All right.
Okay.
But if you're going to make a decision to move on, you cut everything. You move on. Yeah. You say, okay, Sam Howell, you're our number 2, or you sign Taylor Heineke to another modest contract unless he gets starter money somewhere, which, anything's possible.
Probably not, yeah.
I don't know, man. Once a quarterback shows he can win in this league, he becomes quite valuable.
I think when we're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, we're going to see how.
Well, we're one game away from if we win tomorrow, we're the 7th seed in the NFC.
Sure. Yeah, we're not. Listen, there's still 10 games left in this season, guys. I mean, it's still, we still got a lot of football to play. So a lot can happen. But you just never, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. The football season's a long fucking season. There's ebbs and flows. And, I have a feeling, I just don't think this team's good enough with the quarterbacks under center that we have to make a run. I mean, we could, but I doubt it. So I strongly think that we're going to see how before the end of the season.
We love a 4-game win streak. We do,
especially in the middle of the season where it could really, really boost our spirits.
Yeah. But we do have another week. Say we win this game, that's 3 in a row. We have another 4-game spot towards the end of the season where we could roll off another 4 games, and then maybe that's possibly 9 or 10 wins right now. So I mean, like I said, this is still early in the season.
Don't forget, we get like 4 games in a row against teams coming off their mini bye. I mean, the NFL did us no favors with scheduling.
They always do us no favors with scheduling.
That was a bit egregious, I thought.
Yeah. Well, this is the apparent easiest strength of schedule as well as the Cowboys. So, and we're really struggling with this.
Strength of schedule in April is always different than in October. Was what you're bringing up some new news? I mean, as it turns out from how the teams are playing now, I'd like to see what our strength of schedule is going forward. There.
Yeah, no, it's still weak. It's still pretty weak as far as
I don't think it's very strong.
Andy brought up a message about Gibson. I saw this today too. That their teams were calling on Gibson.
Yeah,
and people are like, trade Gibson, trade Payne. You don't trade away good players unless you're going to get value for it, like good value.
That's the key.
You got to get the right amount of value for it, and he's more valuable right now to us than a 4th or 5th rounder, which
So
I think
if someone comes in and
probably-
offers you a second or a
That you do.
conditional second,
you got to think about that.
That you
Yeah,
do.
you got seriously got to think about that. But
That-
the
that you
fact
do.
of the matter is, I think Gibson right now is way too important to this team, as well as Payne. Payne's too important to this team.
But what would you take for him? Would it have to be a first
It
rounder?
would have to be a 1st or 2nd rounder for me,
Yeah.
because right now Gibson, he's looking sexy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's showing out. He's showing like, okay, this is what he's able to do.
I wish the trade deadline was a little bit later in the season.
I do
you know?
too, right?
Like,
Because
it
you don't
just-
know where you are.
Exactly.
You're in it or you're out of it. You
Exactly.
don't know. See, he's
Um,
got one more year left on his contract. But the thing is, signing a running back to a second contract typically does not work out very well for the team that's signing it. They don't last long. He's already had, I don't want to say injury problems, but he gets dinged. And so far,
Yeah.
it hasn't happened this year because, as we've said a multitude of times, for him, less is more. He's better with less.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if you get somebody calling up, I mean, my God, if somebody offers you a 1st-round pick, you take it. And
Oh
run.
yeah, you have to. You
Yeah.
have
Someone
to.
calls you up in a
I
second,
mean,
you
but-
take it.
but the
Look at
fact
the
that-
Eagles. That's what I'm going to point at. I'm sorry, I'm busting in right now.
No, you're good.
I was trying to download a song, the old Super Chicken theme song to play for Keith, but I couldn't get it down. So that's why I was quiet for so long. But you look at the Eagles. All right, Howie Roseman, they were ready to light that guy on fire. They hated him. He was trading away this, trading away that, moving.
They're
this,
trying to
moving
get
that.
Alvin Kamara right
Dude,
now. They're trying
and-
to get Kamara.
exactly. Look at them.
Yeah.
They have so many picks that they've stockpiled because they aren't afraid to make a move. Bill Belichick. All right. Now I know I'm going back into the past a little bit, but he got rid of players when it seemed like they were in their prime. And you go, what the hell is that? What are they doing? They're getting rid of they sent Ty Law up to Buffalo. They sent I can't remember the name of the damn defensive end. He's on fucking NFL Network now. They sent him to the Raiders, and that was the big one.
Richard Seymour.
Richard Seymour. It was like, what the hell are they doing? But he knows when you
when
can't keep
to
them
do
all.
it. Yeah,
You can't.
yeah.
Keep them all. Like I said, with Gibson, you talk about a second contract with a running back. We got a little bit of depth right there right now. You could tell me that. All right, number one, Gibson. I'm not taking anything away from him, but if we did trade him and we got a second, and we went out there with Robinson and McKissick, how much of a drop off do we have?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Gibson's sweet spot for me is anywhere between 12 to 17 touches, whether that's passing or running. I think that's where he is. Anywhere you get above 20, and you're gonna see him starting to struggle a bit, and having Brian Robinson take the pressure off and take the carries on is good. I don't want to see Dax Milne returning kicks ever again. Gibson seemed to make positive plays.
I
when
do
doing
love the
that
way
last
Gibson
season.
is returning kicks. I wish he would return punts.
So it's an interesting one. I mean, do you guys see anyone from the team being traded before the deadline? I mean, the
only one is William Jackson III, and something
They'll
might
take shit for him just to dump his salary.
We'll take a 7th. Shit, we'll take a 7th. Fuck yeah. I don't see any moves to be made right now.
Do you think McKissick goes?
Jackson.
That's been talked about.
Well, if you're intending to keep Gibson, am I breaking up?
No, not at all.
Camera's kind of off.
Yeah, your camera's off, but your
So I'm
voice
doing
is coming.
the bad Godzilla voiceover. Oh, let me tell you about Gibson.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's very bad. People are going to yell at me for that.
Yeah, I think little's going to be done at the trade deadline. And like I was saying before, I wish the trade deadline was like end of November, so we have a little bit better of a picture of what's going on in the season and what teams need to do. I think you'd see a lot more action through the in the trade markets. Not a whole lot of people get traded. It's kind of
it's happening more often now, though.
Yeah.
More players, especially. I mean, some of the old rules are going away. Quarterbacks are moving around like more than I've ever seen. In the last
that's true.
5 years.
That's true.
And
there's just not
there's
not enough good quarterbacks out there. Yeah, that's the problem. And I think the offensive line is going that way too. There's not enough good offensive linemen out there.
I think the slotted rookie contracts means that they can cut bait on them quicker.
Yeah. No, you're right about that. But Gibson, it's got to be a high pick for me to think about that.
You got to be willing to listen, but you got to be willing to say no.
That's true too. Yeah.
You don't just trade.
No, you pick up the phone. You pick up the phone.
Yeah.
You pick up the
Unless
phone.
it's Andy Reid. You never listen to Andy Reid again.
He'll jip you in a second.
That's right. You don't listen to Andy Reid. All right, so we got to do some X factors now. So
Yeah,
we got X factors, and
X-Factors.
of course, remember, because I don't have a zipper for that one, we've got to go ahead and do our own theme songs for X factors. So Scott, who is your first X factor? X factor.
X Factor.
I love it.
My X factor for the week against the Colts is going to be Brian Robinson. I think he breaks a big one this time round, and heavy run the ball. A dose of the running the ball. We have to do that, and that's our key to victory for me: is running the ball and then getting what we can off play action.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's got to open up.
I'll even piggyback off that, and my X factor is going to be for the offense. I got two: Andrew Norwell and Shaquille Charles. I think those guys got to have a good game up front.
I don't think Charles is going to play.
No, he
I
is.
really don't. Okay.
Yeah, no,
I
he's
think
playing.
from the last thing I saw, they were saying that they were going to start Trey Turner because Charles has been out with an injury.
What about sliding Cosme in and keeping Lucas out?
Well, you can't do that right now because Cosme's still only going to play right tackle in an emergency situation. Cosme's still got a club. When you're playing guard, you need both your hands to pull up. Being able to play tackle is a different story. John Kimes talked about that, and I trust what Kimes says. No, I saw today a report today that Charles is questionable, but most likely going to play. He had the flu. That's the whole thing.
Okay.
He just had the flu. So those two are my X factors. I think they need to have a good game. The Colts defense is good. They got a good defensive line. They got some good linebackers. I think their secondary can be had.
Got some great linebackers. Sure. Dude,
Yeah.
Darius Leonard. Is that who you got? Is Shaq Leonard? Is that his name now, Darius?
Yeah,
'Cause I knew him as Darius Leonard.
Shaq
Never-
Leonard. Yeah, it used to be
he wasn't
Darius.
on
It was
for
Shaq.
Dude knows the punch.
Yeah.
All right.
But
He's got the fumble punch.
He is going to be on a pitch count. This is his first game back. He
Let's
is going
hope
to be
so.
on a pitch
That's a
count. So that is a little bit of relief.
Don't count out Ngakwe either. He's a very good player.
Yeah,
I
no,
tell you
no,
what,
they-
I can remember when we played the Colts last that he was a rookie. Leonard was, and I told the Eagles fans because he got like 15 tackles. I told the Eagles fans next week, I said, watch out for this 53 dude. This motherfucker's everywhere.
Yeah.
So
No, I think this is going to be a game we have to run the ball. We got to run the ball, and we got to break up that middle. I think and piggybacking off of Scott's Brian Robinson. He's our between the tackles, our tough yards. I think Charles and Norwell is got to play good. Got to play good, especially in the run blocking.
let him fire off run blocking. That helps him out every single time. My X factor is going to be whichever linebacker. X factor.
We're doing offense X factors, right? Not defense.
Okay, offensive X factor. For me, as always, Terry McLaurin. Get him the ball. Get it to him often. Get it to him as much as you can. Let him damage that defense because I'll tell you what, you're right. Their defense isn't bad, but I think you can pick at them, especially if we can get that running game going. If Robinson can pop through there, get a couple of runs, can bust a couple of heads, then I keep feeding Terry, keep feeding Terry, keep feeding Terry.
Yeah.
And that's who's my X factor of the day. And of course, X factor. Hey, Andy, thank you.
Appreciate
thank
it,
you very
buddy.
much. And just for Andy, we'll show Jim Irsay again, or Jim Irsay, owner of the Colts.
It does. It looks so much like him.
I got so lucky finding that picture.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So, okay. Defensive X factors. Andy, who you got? Oh, excuse me. My other Andy, Scotty, who you, we were talking to Andy a minute ago.
It's
They
fine.
don't even look the same.
We're all British. It's cool. It's not a
No,
problem.
you guys you do all look the same. You're like
No, come on. I'm not as good
belly of
looking
a
as
fish.
Burrows or Scouse, to be fair. But nice. A defensive X factor for the Commanders. Daron Payne has to have a big game coming through the middle of the line. He's been on fire for the last few weeks. He is due. Well, we've got to keep the quarterback in the pocket. So it all starts from him. He's good at batting balls down, as is Jonathan Allen. So yeah, that defensive line really needs to step up and keep Ellinger in the pocket, and that is how we win this game.
Is he a Jew?
Oh, what?
Who's a Jew? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, you said in the middle of it.
Did I?
He's a Jew, and I
think you said
you cut off a
he's
word.
Jew.
Oh, okay.
I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah, Shemesh. Yeah, anyway.
That's right.
Oh,
We
Ty,
gotta be careful. We'll get
Ty
canceled.
just burns you. Ty just burns.
I know
you.
Ty's going to burn me for that, but hey,
No, Ty burned Scotty. He said,
Yeah,
"One
I
eats
do eat farts. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's those chili fries are going to be legendary. I tell you.
Yeah, no,
Please don't
John,
say
go
that
ahead with
again,
your
John.
defensive X factor first.
Okay, you're lucky. I took that video down off of the
Good.
thing here. My defensive X factor is either going to be John Bostic or David Mayo, whichever one of those two step in for Cole Holcomb. You have got to have a big game. You have got to stop Jonathan Allen in the hole. You can't let him get going. You cannot let their play action get going because you have a rookie quarterback and a defensive line that should eat as long as you can stop the run game. Don't let him have anything. All right. Because if you force that quarterback into passing situations where he cannot use effective play action, we can crush his spirit, destroy him, kill him so bad that his mother feels it.
All right.
So, yeah, that's my X factor.
My X factor is going to be Cam Curl. And this is kind of, again, I'm going to piggyback off of the linebackers that John just brought up. I think Cam Curl has to have a big game and help out in the box for us to have success. They're going to try to run the ball down our throats. Our run stopping abilities has been great the past 3 or 4 weeks. Actually, since the Detroit game, Swift had a big game against us, but we have stifled the Dallas running game, the Eagles running game, and Aaron Jones couldn't get or Andre Dillon couldn't get anything against us, and Philly couldn't run the ball against us. So we got to do the same effing thing, but unfortunately, Cole Holcomb is out, so we have some backup depth pieces that I think Scouts can probably pay linebacker better than John Bostic and David Mayo. So I think Cam Curl's got to step up, play that big nickel, and play near the line of scrimmage. And I think Taylor's going to hurt us, but I think Cam Curl can help stop the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, he's going to have to play up and close. He's a big key to the game here. Sorry, I was working on something else here while I was listening to you talk. So please continue the show without me.
Yeah, no,
I'm actually right now trying to go through all the windows. Oh, there you are. I found you. I got so many fucking windows open.
Yeah, no.
So I guess we're done then.
Who do you got?
Yeah. Oh, I think we're going to win this football game, and I think it's going to be a rather handy win. I think we're going to be able to get to Ellinger, and I think we're going to win this game 27-13.
Wow. Damn, John coming in with the fucking confidence.
That's right.
Jesus.
Fuck you, Jim Irsay. We're going to drive you right back to drinking and pills.
Scotty, what about you?
I'm going to go Commanders win 17-13.
It's
still going to be fairly close, but I think we get a late TD and then we kick a field goal to seal it towards the end of the fourth quarter.
Relying on Joey Sly. That's some balls right there. Listen, guys, I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. We are going up against a top 10 defense. I'm worried about this game. I really, really, really am worried about this game because of the unknowns. I think the score is going to be like 15-13, and we're going to lose.
What?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't feel good. I felt.
You know what? I'll tell
so
you what.
much
Right
better.
now, Scotty. I'm gonna start getting texts starting tomorrow. I don't think we have a chance. I'm not even gonna watch.
Do you know what I feel? I feel better about this game than I did against about the Packers game.
I see. I feel better about the Packers game than I do this game. I do.
Ellinger.
And also, but listen, I also felt better about the Titans game. We did wind up losing that game. I think if Heineke was playing that game, I think we win that game, to be honest.
Yeah, I do too.
Sam Ellinger makes my feet quake.
It's not Ellinger, really. It's really not Ellinger. It's this defense. It's the Colts defense that we're playing that worries me the most. And I'm afraid for a pick or fumble 6. And a safety.
Oh, every single thing that could possibly be bad. It's all going to go terrible. The world's going to end.
And maybe a fumble by Gibson.
A fumble by
Don't.
That's due. He's due. He's due. And Heineke might trip over his shoelaces when they come untied.
And then we get a Sam Howell.
These are the texts I'm going to
fourth
get
quarter.
tomorrow. Right. These are the texts
dear.
I'm going to get tomorrow. I care. I get one. I'll get one at like 7:00 in the morning. I shouldn't even get out of bed. So, all right. So I have fun with my organ music. I have fun with my organ too, but that's a show for another day.
Comments. Did we go through these?
Yeah, let's go ahead and hit the comments here. What do we got?
All right, what do we got?
Andy Lockhart says 13-9. Dude, why are you even gonna watch that? You're listening to Jessy too much.
What about Andy Burris that was talking this earlier?
I did want to address that. No, I doubt that very seriously. I've heard a lot of people last year talking about, Dan will just move the team. I mean, he could, but if you think they're fighting him now, if you think they're trying to really kind of clamp down on him now, let him say that I'm going to take this team that I ruined and destroyed and move it out of the sixth largest market in the country with one of the highest incomes per capita in the whole country and stick it in fucking Peoria.
I do think there is something in this, but not in that the Commanders will come to London, but there will be a franchise of some description.
I think the Jaguars are going to be there with the next 5 to 10 years.
Interesting enough, me and I know Burrows has mentioned it, and so has Scouse as well in our chat there, that the commissioner was questioned by our NFL UK Sky Sports host, Neil Reynolds, about having a team and franchise in London. And he answered it with quite an interesting answer by saying, why won't we have a division?
Well,
okay. If we're going to get a division and 4 teams, I mean, it's playing games internationally now. We're playing games in Mexico, playing games in Germany. We've got a game tomorrow in London.
Yeah.
So
tomorrow? Saturday?
Yeah. Sunday, sorry. I keep forgetting it's not Saturday. It's because I'm on with you guys on Saturday normally. That's why.
Oh, that's right.
But no, it'll be interesting to see what does happen with that. But I don't think we move the 6th most wealthiest team as it is.
There's too much money, and not only that, but this is the seat of power in the United States. This is a large corporation, man. The NFL is big time, and they've got clout. They want to be next to it. So, I would. It would be complete doomsday if they did something like that. It would be completely stupid, and that would just signal to me that they will use any means necessary, including sink the ship that's carrying Dan Snyder over to England while it's on en route. Have a torpedo it, and blame it on Iran or something like that.
I'll just get work to send a sub out. It'll be fine. Don't worry.
There you go. Yeah. Right then and there, we'd all be fans of Iran.
Yams got us winning 20-18. Yeah, it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think we're going to get some poor offenses on both teams. I believe.
Well, all right. So I don't think we're going to get poor offenses out of the Commanders. I think we're going to be better than we were last week. I think they're going to be a little bit more settled in. I know the Colts defense is all right, but I'm not too concerned about that. The Packers defense isn't terrible, and we were able to move the ball on them. So we'll see.
My I told you so text is already in the drafts.
You really got to take a pill, Jesse, and just keep
I can't. This is how I fan, man. This is how I fan. Every game I'm like this.
You know what?
Every game.
He'll take a Xanax, and then I'll get texts that say things like, I
turn into Jesse 10 minutes before kickoff.
Sunday's just stressful in this household, man.
3.5 hours of just pure nail biting.
I'm going to start. I'm going to start sending John the recorded text, audio text, instead of so you can play him on the. See, I can get my true feeling of the text. See, a lot of gets lost in text.
You'd laugh like hell watching the game with me because I for one, with the Commanders and the Redskins, and for as losing as we have been, now I just kind of go, oh well, here we go again, right? I don't get all emotional like that like I used to. I don't throw shit around. I don't stomp around. Now to me, it's just okay. Find the funny in it, and there is plenty of funny in it.
There is. After I calm down. But I mean, I pace when I come to my parents' house. I mean, I watch the game. I pace up and down the damn. I've worn out the carpet. Back and forth, up and down on third downs. They gotta fucking get this. It's in the first quarter and third downs. I'm stressing out, sweating and shit. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
His parents are like,
Sit down and shut the fuck up. Shut up! Shut up! Sit the fuck down and shut up! Shut up and sit down. Will you shut up? Just sit your ass down here and shut up.
Yeah.
And he does, and he grumpily texts me, I can't even pace around my house.
Take the bins out, Jesse, or something, man. Just take your mind off it, honestly.
I don't think going outside to the trash is going to take your mind off of the Commanders. That's terrible. We're winning this week, and we're winning big. We're winning by 2 touchdowns.
That'd be great. That's
right.
There's a lot of optimism, though, and that scares me. And the line, which I know we'll talk about more about this tomorrow, but the line is funky. Like they're still having the Colts as a 3-point favorite with a backup quarterback and them playing as poor as they have. That right there also scares the shit out of me.
Speaking of a funky line,
this should be a pick 'em. This should be a fucking pick 'em.
What is it right now? I didn't hear what you were saying.
It's Colts -3.
That's a hometown line, as always. That's the
I
line that says, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
A line that you don't know what's going to happen would be a pick 'em. It would be.
You would think.
But for a first-time quarterback. That's never thrown a pass in the NFL. And they're still.
I'm having too much fun with that. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think we should have ended up on that. We'll be back here tomorrow. Right. Tomorrow afternoon, 4 o'clock Eastern time, and that would be 9 o'clock you English folks time. And what is that? 3 o'clock Central time and 1 o'clock on the West Coast, whatever else.
Hey, when is it Hawaiian time?
Those people got too many other things to do. So we'll be back tomorrow to pick a few football games, have a few more laughs, and
what time is it in Australia?
Tell you how to waste your money. In Australia, I believe it is from the clock, man. No, that was horrible. What the hell was that?
That was bad.
It's frinkly do past Fronkalog. They got so many weird ass words over there. Luckily, we only have a few Australian listeners. They can write to me and tell me.
It's 10 past 11 on Saturday.
On Saturday.
Very good. That's the time will be.
So it'll be like Monday morning when we talk.
Ring up the clockery, Doc. Find out what time it is.
There's that Dick Van Dyke again, John.
I know. I can't. Whatever. See, I'm in America, man. They don't know the difference. They just think I'm Crocodile Dundee.
All right, mates, guys in the chat, we appreciate y'all coming out and having fun with us. Y'all can check us out. We're all on Twitter. And you also give us a like on YouTube. Subscribe. We're slowly but surely building our channel. We don't really advertise. We're guys that just like to talk about our football team. That's it.
That's right. That's right. When this is not a professionally done show, we don't give a shit about whether we're smooth into our segments and let's make sure. Bullshit. This is 3 guys enjoying to talk about football. Sometimes 4 guys or 3 guys and a cock, and that's a whole other. All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right. Left finger up.
That's it. Take care, boys.
Later.